Ooh, it is finally here. Been waiting all year for this sensor to be released. This is the Aqara FP300 presence multi-sensor. You know, we've been waiting for a while for this and it is finally available to order. Okay, so with this, we've got PIR and mmWave detection, ZigBee and Thread support, matter support, a light sensor, temperature sensors, humidity sensor, and it is wireless. Now, if you're not sure what all that means, don't worry, we'll break it all down today. I'm gonna show you everything that this can do, and we'll see if it, was worth the hype and the wait. What's up guys, my name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy, smart home. So if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe for more smart home content every week. I also live stream every week, so turn on notifications and let's build a simple yet effective smart home together. Now, big thanks to Aqara for sending me an early version of the Aqara FP300 for testing and for sponsoring this video. You can see on the box here that either an Aqara hub or a Thread border router is required. More on that in just a minute. Up top, we can see that it supports all the smart home ecosystems, including Matter and Apple Home, which is awesome. Inside, we have the sensor itself, little pull tab to activate the battery, a 3M sticky pad, a metal disc and screw for installation, and we have the Matter code right here on the sensor. There's a single button on the side and a status LED on the top. Twist off the stand to expose the battery compartment. So this sensor takes two CR2450 batteries, which is a beautiful thing to see. No need to run a cord down the wall or find an outlet for this presence sensor. Aqara claims a battery life should be up to 2 years, which is incredible. Up to 3 years, I think, if you're using it over ZigBee. So battery life will vary, depending on your settings and how you use the sensor, but we'll get to all that in just a second. First, let's set this thing up. I'm gonna open the Aqara app and pull the tab to activate the battery. We can see that the sensor is automatically recognized in the Aqara app. Tap on it, and the first thing we see is an option to choose which protocol you want to use. Like a number of Aqara's latest products, we have the option to either use Thread or ZigBee to connect this to our smart home. Now, if you're not familiar with what that means, these are essentially just wireless protocols. You do have to choose one or the other, either ZigBee or Thread. You can't use both at the same time. If you use Thread, you can connect this sensor directly to your smart home as long as you have a Thread border router in your home. So you don't need an Aqara hub if you're using Thread. If you have a smart home already set up, you likely do have a Thread border router already. That could be a HomePod, HomePod Mini, or a compatible Apple TV if you're in the Apple Home ecosystem. It could be a SmartThings hub, most Alexa Echo devices, even Eero routers. All these can be Thread border routers. And if you choose ZigBee, then you will need an Aqara hub in your house, and there are many available Aqara hubs, including a number of their cameras, or the M2 hub, the M3 hub. My personal opinion, if you have an Aqara hub already in your home or you plan to get one, I would probably go with the ZigBee protocol over Thread. That's just me. It is worth noting that you will get a few more functions available if you connect this sensor over ZigBee. It does connect over Thread by default out of the box, and that's for those who may want to use this directly with their smart home ecosystem and not use an Aqara app or the Aqara hub. But I'm switching mine over to ZigBee so we can explore all the features that this thing is capable of. It does take a few minutes to switch over protocols from Thread to ZigBee, and then we need to bind it to an Aqara hub. You can see I have a few options here in my home. I'll choose the M3 hub. That is my primary Aqara hub for connecting all my ZigBee child accessories like this new sensor. I can rename it if I want, and boom, I'm all done with the setup. Just like that, no issues at all so far. Now, as mentioned earlier, this sensor has both a PIR motion sensor and a 60 gigahertz mmWave sensor. This allows it to detect even the slightest movements within a range of 120 degrees and up to 6 meters or 20 feet. You do have the ability to turn off one or the other or use both. The Aqara app does a good job at explaining what all this means. Now, most people will probably want to use both. That is the recommended mode, and it says that it gives you the longest battery life and ensures strong anti-interference performance. You can adjust the presence detection sensitivity. You got high, medium, or low, depending on the size of your room that you install this in. You can adjust the absence delay timer. This is basically the amount of time that the sensor will report presence after no presence has been detected. I like to set this for at least a few minutes when using the sensor to automate something like lights. This will eliminate the likelihood of it detecting no motion or no presence and then turning off the lights prematurely while maybe you are still in the room. We also have some settings for the light and temperature sensor. Now, one thing I really love here is that you can completely disable the light, temperature, and humidity sensors if you don't need them, which should increase battery life a good bit. You can also adjust the frequency that the sensors update the status. It says that lower frequency increases battery life by about 10%, and turning these off completely will improve battery life by about 15%. Inversely, increasing the frequency reduces the battery life by about 10%, so you can make the adjustments based on your own automation needs. On-site configuration allows you to customize the radar detection range. There's also an AI spatial learning option where the device uses AI to learn its surroundings to improve the sensor's detection. This should help to filter out false triggers like small pets, robot vacuums, and environment interference, and they claim this makes the presence detection progressively more accurate over time. You can check the ZigBee signal of the sensor if you're using this over ZigBee. Again, you will need to be using this sensor via ZigBee to get many of these additional features and options here in the Aqara app. Since I have connected the FP300 via ZigBee to my Aqara M3 hub, and my M3 hub is currently connected to Apple Home via Matter, the sensor has been added to my Apple Home automatically. We can see here that the FP300 exposes a temperature sensor, humidity sensor, light sensor, and of course the occupancy sensor right here in HomeKit. Now, Aqara does have other presence sensors available like the FP2 and the FP1E, both of which I've used. They're all really good sensors, but the great thing about the FP300, of course, is that it comes in this great small little form factor and it's completely wireless. That makes installation and setup easier since you can essentially put this anywhere. And I do think that getting the perfect placement for your presence sensor is essential in getting the best results for your home automations. And as you probably noticed by now, this presence sensor does not support creating multiple zones like the Aqara FP2. So if you need those more advanced capabilities like zone control, you'll still need the FP2. Now, I've been using the FP300 in my bedroom for a while now to automate my lights, and if you've listened to my new podcast lately that I do with my wife, you'll know that the bedroom has been a bit of a sensitive topic when it comes to my home automations, but I have really been wanting to automate the lights in my bedroom for a really long time, and the FP300 has become a pivotal piece in getting those automations just right. It's very responsive at detecting me as soon as I walk in the room, which turns on the lights. It still detects us when we're in the room, even when we're being pretty still. And once it detects that no one is in the room, it will turn off all the lights in the bedroom. I've had the absence delay timer set to about 3 minutes, I think, for the FP300, and so far this has been working great for these automations. My primary use has been the motion and occupancy sensors. I really haven't had a need for the light and the temperature sensors so far in this whole setup in this location, but it is great to have those options if I decide I need them. And if not, I can simply turn them off in the Aqara app and extend the battery life of the sensor. I've been using mine for over a month now, and I'm still getting a reading of 100% battery life, so it's doing really well so far. Aqara says that you'll get a battery life up to 2 years when using the sensor over Thread and up to 3 years when connecting over ZigBee. So either way, very good battery life, but it does look like the battery life is better when you use it over ZigBee. All right, so I know many have been anxiously waiting for this sensor for quite a while. From what I've gathered, I think Aqara has been working really hard to get the battery life reliable and to a good place. And from what I can tell so far, they've done it. This is one of the most versatile sensors that I've used. The form factor is great. It's not too big. It has a lot of functionality. ZigBee plus Thread support means you don't have to have an Aqara hub if you don't want, and you can choose which protocol best suits your smart home and your needs. Since it supports Matter, you can pretty much use this in any smart home ecosystem. For me, it has been working really well so far. Like I said, I've been using it about a month or so, and it's one of the final pieces to help me finally get my bedroom automations wife approved, which believe me was no easy feat. So I've been working on a video showing you all the automations and stuff that I did set up in my bedroom, which does include the FP300 as well as other Aqara sensors, even some bed sensors and various lights and stuff throughout the room. So be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that video once it's released. In the meantime, if you want to pick up the Aqara FP300 sensor, you can now purchase one for $49.99 US. They're available on Amazon. I'll put an affiliate link down below in the video description, as well as an exclusive discount code to save you 15% that Aqara gave me just for my audience. That code does only last for a few days though, so be sure to jump on it while you can if you're interested. If this video helped, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to check out that new podcast channel that I mentioned earlier that I'm doing now with my wife, I'll put a link to that right over here somewhere. Go subscribe and tune into our life behind the scenes each week of marriage, parenting, YouTube, and our smart home. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.